All right, so we should be able to wrap this project up. The next thing we have to do is the references section. That's what we called it, basically these company logos. So let's go down here and say this is the references section, and we'll do section ID references. And this is going to be a little bit different than the rest of the section containers. So we're going to use Flexbox here, and let's say flex-call and items-center. We also want to justify -between, and we'll do a max width of 6XL, PX10, MX auto, we want everything in the middle, and let's see, space dash Y is going to be 16, and margin on the Y axis 44, and then on medium screens we want this to be a flex row, and also on medium screens we want to take away the space on the Y axis. So that's our container. Then we just want our images. So let's say image, and these actually don't need any classes. We just want to get these images in here. The first one's going to be logo-Google, and then we'll just copy these down. I believe there's 5. We have Google, then we have IBM, and we have what's the next one? Microsoft, and we also have HP. Whoops. And then we have one called Vector Graphics. So that should do it. Let's save it. And there we go. Looks good on small screens, and then it's going to be a row on larger screens. Next, we have the bottom call to action, which is going to be very similar to this right here, just the buttons. We're going to have the buttons, no logo, right? Let's see right here. No, just the text and then the buttons. Okay, so let's start on that. That's going to be under this section. We'll just say bottom CTA section, call to action, and section, I'll give it an ID of bottom. And we can use our section container class here. And let's also add, wait, we didn't add MY20 on that, did we? Section container, let's see, no, we have PX10. Okay, so let's add in here our H3, which we don't need any classes on. We'll just say clipboard for iOS and Mac OS, and then some text and a paragraph. I believe we can use our section content class here, and then I'm just going to grab that text that we need. So let's see what that looks like. All right, good. And then underneath the paragraph we have our button container. Okay, and whoops. So button container, and we have a class, remember, called button container. So we can use that. And in here we're going to have our buttons, which I'm just going to grab from the top, from the hero section. So, well, they're links, but they look like buttons. So we'll grab those, put those right in here, and let's see if we save. Let's add some margin bottom to the section content. Fix that right there. All right, so section content, let's see, that doesn't have any margin bottom, so we're just going to add on to that. Let's do MB10 to push that down a little bit. All right, and then the last thing we have is the footer, which has a logo. It has these menus. Now these menus are, if we make this bigger, you can see that they're separate. We have 3 separate menu lists, and then we have these icons or SVGs over here as well. So let's go under the last section and let's put in our footer. And the only class on the actual footer is going to be our BG Gray-50 class. Then we have a container. We can use a section container. And let's say, actually, I think that's it. And then the flex box that contains like the image and then the menus and social and all that. So let's say flex and flex call items dash center and justify dash between. And then on medium screens, we want it to be a flex dash row. And then here we'll have the image. And I'm just going to add a class on this. We want it to scale, so we'll say scale dash 50, and this is going to be in the images folder, and it's just the logo, so logo SVG. Save that. That's not ours. Okay, so there's the logo. Now directly under the image, we're going to have the container for the menus and the social. So I'm just going to put a comment and say container for menus and social. So that's going to be a flex box, flex call, item center, justify. We're going to do a justify between, and we're going to use flex 1 here, margin bottom 10, space on the y-axis on the items is 6, and then let's see, on medium screens we want flex row, and on medium screens we want margin bottom to be 0, and also .md. So also on medium screens we want to take the space off of the y items, and I think that should do it. Oh, we also want the color, the text, to be grayish blue. So grayish blue. So that's our container. Now we have the menus. All right, so we have 3 menus. Those are all going to go in their own container as well. So let's say flex dash call space dash y4, and on medium screens flex row, and on medium screens we'll also do a margin left of 24 because they're going to be side by side, so we want some space. We'll also do on medium screens space on the X items will be 24, and then on medium screens space on the Y will be 0. Okay, so in here let's say menu, make this a comment, we'll say menu 1. All right, so menu 1, and each menu is also going to be flex, and they're always going to be a flex column because we're just talking about each individual menu, which are always going to go vertically. So flex call, we'll do a space Y4, and let's center the text, and on MD, on medium screens, we'll make the text align left. Okay, and then we'll just have our menu items, which are going to be divs with an A tag, and let's just do on hover, we'll use the text dash strong cyan, right? Yeah, and that's not going to actually go anywhere. And then for the text for this first one, we'll say FAQs like that, and then we'll just copy that down. The second one is going to be contact us. So let's just see what that looks like so far. Good. Now for the second menu, we could just copy this one. So here we got menu 2, and all this stuff is going to stay the same. We just want to change the text, which is going to be privacy policy, and then let's see the next one. Change that. Let's change that to press kit, and then we can copy this menu, and this will be menu 3,